Try this one tip with your grip and it may make you faster and more accurate. Hey, in today's video, quick short little video here. I want to talk to you about pistol grip here and a quick tip, something I was exploring today in dry fire that may help you shoot more accurately even when you're trying to shoot aggressively and fast, okay? If you don't know me yet, my name is Caleb Lee. I'm the #1 best-selling author of Concealed Carry 101, and I'm also the founder of Patriot Training Center, where we teach live gun training courses to people just like you who want to learn how to protect themselves with pistols, rifles, and shotguns. So into today's clip, this is something that is about grip. A few videos on this channel about grip, but something I was noticing while I was dry firing this morning is a kind of tip that I think will help you, and it involves your pinky. Grip is one of those things that I don't think we ever stop working at, okay? I think it's one of those fundamentals of pistol shooting. You know, super important with pistol shooting. We have, the grip and the trigger press. You could kind of argue like which one's more important, but no one will argue that they're both like super, super important. So that's why I'm always trying to work on bettering my grip. That doesn't always mean like changing a lot of big things or changing the way fundamentally that I do it. But I'm always like, when I'm dry firing or I'm practicing or I'm shooting at the range, I'm always being aware of and assessing what I'm doing. That's the only way that you get better, right? So you every time that you do something that gets you a result that you don't want, as part of the process of shooting, then you can go back and kind of think, okay, what was I doing? And as long as you're paying attention during that process, then you can kind of like diagnose what you're doing and what input that you're putting into the gun that's getting you results that you don't like, right? So I think it's always important to be aware of that and be like consciously like tied into it. And dry fire is great for that, right? Because we don't have this explosion going off in front of our face, and we're not focused about like the bullet holes in the target or the other things that could distract you when you're doing live fire. So dry fire is an excellent way to really pay attention to what you're doing and try to be consciously aware of that and always be assessing what you're doing. Something I noticed this morning with dry fire, and I was shooting groups, and you can shoot groups in dry fire. And I was using this little guy right here, which is a 33%, scaled down 1/3 size, just a B8 target, right? So standing 10 yards away is basically like getting you a 25-yard target, right? So it's giving you the sight picture. My dot on my gun is, right here, taking up pretty much that whole B8 there, right? So a very small target. So at first, when I start dry fire, sometimes I'll shoot groups and just try to be as accurate as possible. But then as I'm working through the session, at least today's session, I was doing draws from the holster and doing things as fast and as accurate as I could do them, right? And so anytime that we're shooting as fast and as aggressively as possible, you're going to start to, you can't just press the trigger like slowly, right? So one of the great drills to work on that is a drill that's on this channel, and we'll link it below in the description, is trigger control at speed drill, which is an excellent drill to have you press the trigger fast in dry fire, and then also live fire, but fundamentally you can practice this in dry fire. So working with an unloaded gun, got snap caps in here, and that is looking like putting the gun up the same way that you would present it. You're looking at the target there, and then you're pressing the trigger as fast as you can do it, right? So working with a shot timer, you actually want that shot timer to be registering like 0.25 or less, okay? Any slower than that, then you're probably just being too slow, because I think a lot of times when we all learn to shoot and we're told to press the trigger, we've been told things in the past, like, instructors used to teach you want like a surprise break to the trigger. Just press it until it surprises you, and that's the way that you should do it to be the most accurate as possible. But that kind of breaks down when you're trying to shoot stuff like really fast and really aggressively, right? So like if it's target shooting, like, okay, I'm going to shoot this target as fast as possible, so I'm going to put my sights on the target, and as soon as it's there, I'm going to press the trigger. So I know that I'm going to be pressing the trigger, so that surprise break thing doesn't really work. Or fundamentally, the whole reason that I train, right, is for defensive purposes, right? If there's some guy trying to kill me, I want to shoot him, and I need it to happen right now. There's no surprise break to the trigger. So we have to figure out how can we press the trigger as fast and as aggressively as possible without disturbing those sights, so that we can get the accurate hit that we want, where our sight picture is telling us that we want the bullet to go, right? So that trigger control at speed drill is an excellent way to do that. So what I was noticing this morning when I was doing like a really small group here and trying to press that trigger as fast as possible is that my pinky, I wasn't putting enough pressure into my pinky. And I think this is kind of obvious, because if you shoot a smaller gun, like this is a full-size Glock 17, but if you shoot one of the smaller super compact guns and you can't get your pinky onto the grip, you notice there's a dramatic difference in how that gun behaves and how easy it is to grip it, right? So your pinky is extremely important in your whole grip. And what I notice is if I focus on pushing the grip, pushing the pinky not like in this direction, like I'm like crushing it in from the side, like making a fist, but more like if you imagine like having pliers in your hand and straight back and forth motion, but really focusing on driving that pinky into the back of the grip. And I think that does, I just have theories on why it's working, but what it was doing is I could still hit that trigger as fast and as aggressively as possible, and I was getting less movement of the sights, right? And I think there's a couple things in play here. That's by forcing it to go straight back, you're pushing it into the back of your palm here. So you're getting that kind of motion instead of dipping the gun to the side like this and curling it in, kind of like making a fist, right? So straight back and forth action. And I think that pinky being kind of like tense in the hand, if you just kind of relax these fingers and you let this finger go as fast as possible, you can see the rest of the hand kind of moves. But when that pinky is already kind of tight back there, there's less movement in the hand until... I'm not really sure why it's working, but I did notice that there was a pretty dramatic difference there in the movement of the sights on my sight picture, even on a very small target like this. And I was still trying to press it as fast as possible. Again, when the shot timer goes off, I wanted to press that trigger and have this trigger break at 0.25 seconds or less, so like 0.17, 0.20, like really, really fast and aggressively, and the sights were moving less. So all that to say, kind of long-winded way to say, don't forget about your pinky and play with your grip pressure, especially in dry fire. This is an excellent way to figure out what works for you the best way so that you can grip this gun, control it, and press the trigger as fast as you can do it, as aggressively as you can do it, but still hit what you're aiming at, okay? So give that a little tip. Don't forget about your little pinky down here. It's a very important part of your grip. And if you'd like to learn any of this live, come out to one of our live training classes. You can check us out at patriottrainingcenter.com. Or if you click the link in the description below, you can book a call with me and we'll talk about our training and see if it's right for you. And I'll see you in the next video.